you for tuning in to Monday's edition of Quick Morning. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. Let's get started with the top stories. In a significant outrage, major government hospitals across the national capital will suspend all services starting today. This comes as response to the brutal rape and murder of a resident doctor in Kolkata. In fact, the strike was called by the Federation of Resident Doctors Association that aims to demand immediate action and enhanced protection for healthcare workers in the country. In fact, in Kerala, the Kerala Government Medical College Association will also stage protests starting today, demanding protection for the doctors. In Kolkata, police have been awaiting the final autopsy report to confirm the exact cause of the death of the murdered doctor. Meanwhile, several hospitals in the national capital also announced suspension of outpatient departments, operation theatres and ward duties as well. The strike reflects a nationwide call for justice and improved security for medical professionals in the country. Security forces have intensified their operation to flush out terrorists from the Ahlan forest area in JNK's Anantnag district. This follows a fierce encounter that has claimed lives of 2 soldiers and 1 civilian, with another civilian succumbing to injuries. The ongoing anti-terror operations, which entered its second day, involves additional personnel working to neutralize a group of terrorists who are active in the area. The confrontation began during a search operation that was initiated by security forces that was based on intel reports indicating presence of terrorists. The firefight resulted in injuries to 6 army personnel and 2 civilians. The encounter is reminiscent of a similar operation last September. The Hindu organizations and residents in Uttar Pradesh staged significant protest marches demanding action in response to recent attacks on Hindus in Bangladesh. Demonstrations were held in Varanasi and Ayodhya as well, where participants expressed their outrage over the violence against Hindu minority in Bangladesh. In fact, in Varanasi, protesters marched through the city streets, while in Ayodhya, both the Mahants and various Hindu organizations led a similar demonstration. In fact, former BJP leader Pandit Sunil Bharala also voiced strong condemnation of the attacks. In response to the situation, Jamaat-e-Islami leaders, along with the Hindu representatives, visited the Dhakeshwari National Temple in Dhaka to promote interfaith harmony in the country. The top court is set to hear Delhi Chief Minister Arnab Goswami's plea today, which challenges a Delhi High Court order that upheld summons issued to him in a criminal defamation case. In fact, the case stems from a 2008 incident in which Kejriwal retweeted a video alleged to be defamatory, circulated by YouTuber as well. Moreover, a 3-judge bench will review the matter. Kejriwal has acknowledged committing a mistake by sharing the video and has indicated willingness to offer an apology. In fact, it was on March 11 that court had asked Kejriwal whether he intended to apologize, as the complainant's counsel suggested an apology might resolve the matter. Furthermore, the top court had deferred action on defamation case, instructing the trial court to hold off on proceedings until further notice. Meanwhile, top court is set to hear bail plea of BRS leader K. Kavita today. K. Kavita has been seeking bail in connection with both the CBI and ED cases related to the liquor gate. Her bail application follows rejection of a former plea by the Delhi High Court on 1st of July. Further, the High Court had determined that based on facts and evidence presented so far, K. Kavita appeared to be one of the main conspirators in the excise scam. The court's decision reflected the gravity of allegations and the involvement of high-profile individuals in this case. Challenging the High Court's decision, K. Kavita had approached top court seeking relief from incarceration. Meanwhile, Delhi High Court is scheduled to hear the anticipatory bail plea of Puja Khedkar today. Khedkar's plea for anticipatory bail was recently rejected by Patiala House Court. Patiala House Court's decision not only denied Khedkar's bail request but also instructed the Union Public Service Commission to investigate if other candidates may have exploited reservation benefits by fraudulent certificates. Additionally, the court had even directed the Delhi Police to examine whether any UPSC officials were involved in assisting Puja Khedkar, who has been challenging the lower court's decision, faces allegations related to misuse of reservation policies and fraudulent documentation. The Delhi High Court's upcoming hearing will address her request for anticipatory bail in the case. And those were all our top stories. Let's take a look at the business stories in this segment. US-based short seller Hindenburg Research has been accused of attacking SEBI's credibility and attempting to assassinate the character of SEBI chairperson Madhabi Puri and her husband in this, according to the report. In fact, this is the Hindenburg's recent report that has raised concerns about SEBI's alleged reluctance to act against the Adani Group, suggesting it was linked to the Butt's offshore investments. In fact, the latter has countered these claims, stating that the investments were made before Madhabi joined SEBI in 2017 and were not connected to Adani. Further claim that claiming that it was independent of Madhabi's SEBI report and the position with all disclosures made as required. They also criticized Hindenburg for not addressing the show cause notice issued for violations in India and instead focusing on character attacks. They further emphasized SEBI's robust regulatory practices and highlighted its recent actions to enhance market operations. The Adani Group has rejected the latest allegations by Hindenburg Research, labeling them as malicious and manipulative. In fact, in a regulatory filing, the conglomerate has called these claims of recycling. It has called the claims denying the allegations. They discredited accusations already dismissed by the top court of India in January 2024. The group further emphasized its commitment to transparency and adherence to legal and regulatory standards. Hindenburg's report links SEBI chief to the allegations, suggesting a conflict of interest. The Adani Group has refuted all these charges, asserting that their overseas holding structure is fully transparent and all relevant details are regularly disclosed. They even dismissed Hindenburg's claims as calling it a desperate attempt by an entity facing scrutiny for violations of Indian security laws. The swift rise of artificial intelligence has been revolutionizing business operations, but also amplifying vulnerability to sophisticated cyber attacks. According to Kaspersky, the cybersecurity firm's latest report signals the urgent need for robust cybersecurity strategies to combat emerging threats, which is Kaspersky, which is a global leader in cybersecurity, has been enhancing its defenses using AI, while noting that cyber criminals are increasingly utilizing artificial intelligence for advanced malware, attack automation and user tracking. In 2023, Kaspersky protected huge number of businesses and thwarted around 6.1 billion cyber attacks. Moreover, AI's role in phishing and deepfake technology further complicates security, with attacks becoming more automated and personalized. Kaspersky's experts emphasize the need for evolving defensive AI capabilities and ethical guidelines. As AI reshapes the cybersecurity landscape, businesses have been urged to strengthen their defenses and stay vigilant against these growing threats. In July 2024, the EV passenger segment experienced a 9.3% growth, though it saw a decline in retail sales year-on-year. According to Federation of Automotive Dealers Association, the overall passenger vehicle market in the electric segment witnessed a significant drop but maintained consistent percent market share. On the other hand, Tata Motors had led the electric vehicle sales with more than 4,000 units sold, reflecting a significant growth from the previous year, but a major decline from the previous month. Meanwhile, JSW MG Motors India followed with more than 1,500 units sold, marking a 23% increase and 8.3% growth. Also, Mahindra & Mahindra ranked third, selling 487 units, achieving huge growth. However, upcoming festival season launches are expected to boost electric vehicle adoption and sales. And those were our top business stories. Let's now take a look at international stories that we are tracking. A catastrophic collapse at landfill site in Uganda's Kampala resulted in at least 21 deaths, with the toll expected to rise in the coming days. In fact, this landfill, which is a major waste disposal site for the capital, gave way late late Friday, also injuring 14 people. Among the deceased were at least 2 children. In fact, in addition, authorities attributed the collapse to heavy rainfall and a structural failure in waste mass. Kampala Metropolitan Police, on the other hand, confirmed receiving 21 bodies but have still been verifying the exact number of victims and engaging with local authorities and families. The landfill, which is situated on a steep slope, is frequented by scavengers and surrounded by homes. Plans to relocate the site proposed in 2016 have been stalled. However, President Museveni has called for an investigation into this matter.
We are still getting in touch with the local authorities. They are giving various figures, but as security, we have tasked our team to engage the families and the families who lost their beloved ones, and also to engage the local community and the local leaders, and maybe to get the data from Uganda Bureau of Statistics to get the actual number of people who are there.
A massive house explosion in Maryland resulted in at least 1 death and 2 injuries. Following the catastrophe, firefighters were dispatched to Maryland's Bel Air residence early in the morning following reports of gas leak and odor. As emergency services arrived, they received reports that the house had exploded. Meanwhile, the state fire marshal's office confirmed that the victim was pronounced dead at the scene. A neighboring house sustained heavy damage and nearby residents reported significant impacts as well. Nearby residents described how the explosion shook their buildings and dislodged aluminum siding from the roof. The force of the blast was so strong that it felt like an earthquake as per residents. An investigation has been launched to determine the exact cause of this explosion.
I was thinking, wake up my children, get them out near the door in case we do have to evacuate the building quickly. It's definitely a need to evacuate the building. The building was shaking. There was a lot of turmoil in the neighborhood, you could see, because I looked out the window right away to see if I could see anything that happened. And there were people in the street in front of our condo building. They had already evacuated the building and were looking up at the buildings. And the buildings sustained, structural damage. So all the roof of the condo buildings buckled, and the siding and the aluminum has fallen down from the structural damage.
Jordan Prime Minister Bashar al-Assad has strongly condemned the Israeli airstrike on a school that turned shelter during a cabinet meeting in Amman. Prime Minister also labelled the attack as an additional crime amid violations of international law by Israeli forces in the Gaza region and the West Bank. The airstrike, which occurred in central Gaza City, resulted in deaths of at least 80 Palestinians, marking it as one of the deadliest attacks airstrikes in the last 10 months of conflict. Meanwhile, the Israeli military claimed that it targeted Hamas command center within the school compound, stating that 19 Hamas terrorists were killed. However, Hamas official disputed the presence of fighters at that particular location. Furthermore, the UN Human Rights Office has criticized Israel for what it calls systemic attacks on schools, with at least 21 incidents reported, causing significant civilian casualties in these attacks. Individuals from various religious communities in Karachi united for a minority rights march advocating for equal treatment of religious minorities in Pakistan. The march's organizers criticized the current lack of equal rights for minorities, noting that widespread violence against Christians and Hindus. Moreover, the march featured attendees holding placards demanding change, while others danced and played instruments, contributing to relatively peaceful atmosphere. The marchers upheld the ongoing struggle for religious equality and aimed to draw attention to the challenges faced by minority communities in Pakistan.
A person from the Christian community or a Hindu community is accused, you see that whole villages, whole towns are burnt, our shops are burnt, our churches are burnt, our temples are burnt. After that, because of that one person that is blamed or accused of something, and that thing is not even true in 99% of the cases. Whole villages are burnt, our Bibles are desecrated, our churches are desecrated.
Thousands of evacuees from Russia's Kursk region affected by Ukraine's recent incursion have been receiving assistance from Russian Red Cross. The Red Cross workers visited temporary accommodation centers to address evacuee needs, providing information on how to access humanitarian aid, shelter, food and clothing as well. The office also launched a hotline for those who had lost contact with relatives, receiving nearly 3,000 calls in a day. Ukraine's raid, which is the largest since Russia's special military operation began in February 2022, used Ukrainian military units on Russian soil, catching Moscow off guard and causing embarrassment for Russian military leaders. Note that more than 20 temporary accommodation centers have been established and approximately 76,000 residents have been evacuated so far, according to Russian Emergencies Ministry spokesperson. However, the goal of the Ukrainian operation remains unclear due to a policy of secrecy. Ukrainian President Zelenskyy stressed on the urgent need for enhanced air defense system following a recent Russian attack that claimed lives of a father and his 4-year-old son in a Kiev suburb. In his nightly video address, Zelenskyy highlighted the ongoing threat from drones, missiles and even North Korean missiles, calling for increased support from international partners to protect Ukraine's skies. He also urged the provision of long-range missile capable of reaching deep into Russian territory to target Russian launch sites. The continued deadly barrages signals a critical need for advanced defensive measures to safeguard Ukrainian civilians and infrastructure. Thanks for staying tuned to Republic. We now get you all the highlights from the Paris Olympics. India bagged a total of 6 medals. Let's take a look at the highlights as the Paris Olympics drew to a close. Paris wrapped up 2.5 weeks of Olympic excitement with lively and glamorous closing ceremony at the National Stadium. The event celebrated the end of Paris' first Olympics in 100 years and handed over the Games to Los Angeles for 2028. The ceremony featured a vibrant artistic show with golden fireworks and athletes enjoying themselves. During the celebration, some athletes rushed the stage and joined Grammy-winning band Phoenix, causing a bit of chaos as security worked to clear the area. There was buzz that Hollywood star Tom Cruise might make an appearance later in the night. The ceremony began with singer performing Under the Skies of Paris, a song made famous by Edith Piaf. As per the Indian Olympic Association's announcement, Manu Bhaker and PR Srijesh to serve as flag bearers of India at the closing ceremony of Paris 2024 Olympics. PR Srijesh, the Indian men's hockey team goalkeeper, expressed their pride. Meanwhile, Olympic medalist Manu Bhaker also shared her excitement for the honour. Both athletes were recently felicitated by the IOA for their exceptional achievements and for being chosen to represent India in this prominent role at the Games finale.
It's a great honor, last tournament, and got this opportunity to carry the flag in the closing ceremony. So fantastic.
Thousands of participants and over 300 athletes joined for the inaugural Marathon for All on the eve of the Paris 2024 Olympic Games closing ceremony. The marathon, which took place under the night sky, marked the first time as marathon has been open to public during the Olympics. Tony Estanquet, president of the Paris Olympics Organizing Committee, highlighted the event's significance by stating that it was his vision to see how much sport can bring people together and motivate people to engage in physical activities. Pakistan's first Olympic gold medalist in decades, Arshad Nadeem, was celebrated with a hero's welcome upon his return home. Nadeem, who won gold in javelin by setting an Olympic record with a 92.97 meter throw, defeated defending champion Neeraj Chopra of India. The previous record of 90.57 meters set by Andreas Torkelsen of Norway in 2008. Nadeem's arrival in his native village in Pakistan, Mia Chanu in Punjab, was marked by large crowds waving Pakistan flags in enthusiastic cheering. Federal and provincial ministers along with Nadeem's family in Pak Punjab were present at the airport to meet him. In fact, in his village, he was welcomed by family and friends. Nadeem expressed gratitude for support and promised to strive for more medals. However, Pakistan's last Olympic gold was in men's field hockey at the 1984 Games, and its most recent medal was a bronze in 1992.
नीरज चोपड़ा भाई है, भाइयों की तरह है, दोस्त भी है। उन्होंने मैंने जितनी की अल्लाह ताला ने उसका फल दिया। बड़ा खुश हूँ कि हम साउथ एशिया के 2 प्लेयर्स पूरे वर्ल्ड में परफॉर्म करके आए।
Famalicão pulled off a surprising victory over Portuguese Benfica, securing a 2-0 win in their opening match at Portugal's Famalicão. The hosts took control early in the match when Soros capitalized on a precise through ball from Oscar, scoring the opening goal in the 12th minute. The early lead set the tone for the rest of the game. Despite several opportunities for both the teams, it was Famalicão who looked most likely to extend the lead. Aranda came close to doubling their advantage in the 84th minute with a powerful shot that struck the post. And those were all the highlights from the world of sports. Let's now take a look at all that we are tracking from the world of glitz and glamour. Tamil actor-director Dhanush has donated 25 lakh to Kerala Chief Minister Relief Fund to support victims of the Wayanad landslide. The devastating natural disaster, which occurred on 30th of July, resulted in widespread destruction, loss of human life and property. Dhanush's contribution is part of a broader effort by actors from the Malayalam, Tamil and Telugu film industries to provide aid. Industry tracker Sridhar Pillai announced the donation on X, highlighting Dhanush's gesture as heartwarming. This generous donation is aimed at helping those affected by the calamity and is a testament to the solidarity within the film community during times of crisis. Korean-American pop star Jay Park concluded his long-awaited fan meeting. Jay Park Season 3 dedicated to US on Sunday was live in Seoul. This was his first solo fan event in about 11 years since the 2013 J-Effect Unity Conference. The event attracted hundreds of enthusiastic fans, some carrying new garlic-shaped light sticks inspired by Park's viral garlic health drink. The fans meeting just featured a Q&A session, live performance of hits like Joa, and a special segment where Park made garlic shots for lucky fans. Park reflected on the experience, noting the shyness of fans who were meeting in a large group for the first time in over a decade. He even appreciated the direct interaction with his fans, known as J Walkers, acknowledging their deep connection and support. The two-day event was also live streamed for global fans. In a box office showdown, both Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively emerged victorious. Reynolds' Deadpool and Wolverine topped North American theaters for third week with $54.2 million in sales, crossing $1 billion globally. Lively's It Ends With Us, a romance drama she stars in and produced, exceeded expectations with a $50 million debut. The success of both the films reflects a family twist on Barbenheimer, showcasing how counter-programming may benefit diverse motives. The weekend also saw a disappointing launch for The Borderlands, a $120 million video game adaptation, which earned only $8.8 million and scored poorly with critics. Deadpool and Wolverine, co-starring Hugh Jackman and quickly becoming one of the year's most lucrative Marvel releases. It Ends With Us, adapted from Colin Hoover's novel, cost $25 million to make it and is projected to be highly profitable. Family and friends of Whitney Houston came together in Atlanta to commemorate the singer's landmark visit to South Africa 30 years ago. Houston was the first major artist to perform in post-apartheid South Africa following Nelson Mandela's historic election as president. And that's all we have for you in this edition of Quick Morning. But stay tuned to Republic as we continue to get you all the latest that's making news from across the globe.